Have you made your plan to vote? Because you should. And that's the conversation for today on Follow the Lead podcast. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Valerie McLaughlin. Today is going to be a fairly short episode, but an important one. The Canadian federal election is April 28th, which is less than 2 weeks from today. I'm recording this episode on April 16th. In 2 days from now, on Friday, advance polling opens. And as I've said in past episodes, I don't align myself with a particular political party. I've never been a member of a party, nor have I financially donated to a party or a political organization. But I believe strongly in voting, and I believe everyone should and must exercise their right to vote. This episode is mainly directed at my listeners who've never voted in a federal election or have voted infrequently or really don't know how the process works. In order to vote in Canada, you need to meet 3 criteria. 1, be a Canadian citizen. 2, be at least 18 years old on election day. So if your 18th birthday is April the 28th, congratulations. You can celebrate your birthday by voting. And 3, be able to prove your identity and address. You'll need to bring documentation to the voting station. The organization responsible for running federal elections in Canada is Elections Canada. For those who have voted in the past, you may have already received your burgundy white voter information card in the mail. Keep it because it's always important to bring that to the polling station with you. If you haven't received your card, no worries. You can still vote. Head to elections.ca. You can search your voting information with your postal code. Elections Canada will tell you the name of the riding you live in and your assigned polling station on election day, as well as the location of advanced polling stations. Advanced polling opens on Friday the 18th. It runs from the 18th, the 19th, the 20th, and the 21st. Those are 4 days that you can vote early in this election. And when you're searching for this information, just take a note of the times that the polling stations are open. They're open for 12 hours, including voting day. You can also vote at any Elections Canada office by Tuesday, April the 22nd. Voting closes at 6 p.m. on the 22nd. So if you don't vote in the advanced polls or at your returning office, your next opportunity to vote is on Election Day, which is Monday, April the 28th. You can also vote by mail. The deadline to apply is April the 22nd. Visit Elections Canada's website at elections.ca for more information on how the process works. Be mindful that once you apply to vote by mail, you won't be able to vote at advanced polls or on election day. So after you've developed a voting plan day, you need to gather your documentation. You'll need to prove that you're a Canadian citizen who is at least 18 years old. The best way to do this is if you have a driver's license or a card that has been issued by a federal, provincial, or local government, which includes your photo, name, and current address. If you don't have that kind of documentation, bring 2 pieces of identification, such as your information card that you got in the mail for voting, a bank statement, utility bill, or student ID card. Other acceptable forms of documentation include birth certificate, health card, library card, social insurance number card, credit or debit cards, a personal check, employee card, and even the label of a prescription drug container. And if you don't have any of the following of that, you'll need to declare your identity at the polling station. You'll need to have somebody who knows you to confirm to officials that you are who you are. And they need to be with you in person when you do this. However, that person will need to be assigned to your polling station. So they have to be kind of like your neighbor. Some will say that this election is important and everybody should vote. However, I believe that every election is important. So please go out and vote. Voter turnout in the last federal election in 2021 was 2.2%. In the previous election in 2019, it was 67%. So we don't have really great voter turnout. So I always get excited when I see more people voting because I really believe in people exercising their right to vote. So if I haven't convinced you to vote, I'm going to play a clip from Elizabeth May. She is the co-leader of the Green Party of Canada. And this clip is from when the election was first called.
It's going to be an election that matters like never before. Voter turnout in this country has been declining. This time, it's your patriotic duty to vote. Every single Canadian 18 years and older, get out and vote. 18 years and older, get out and run. This is an election where, as Jonathan has said, vote like your country depends on it. Vote like your planet depends on it. Vote like your future depends on it. Let's have the highest voter turnout in the history of Canada.
If you haven't been paying attention to the election, you'll have your first chance tonight to see the party leaders square off in the first debate. The French language debate starts at 6 o'clock tonight. I'm assuming that one of the networks will have simultaneous English translation, but don't quote me on that. The debate was moved ahead by 2 hours after the Bloc Québécois requested it. The debate is to start earlier to avoid conflict with the Montreal Canadiens game. Tonight is the last regular season game for the Habs, and they have a chance to clinch a playoff spot. The English debate is Thursday, and it starts at 7 p.m. If you miss any of the debates, you can watch them on YouTube. Check out CPAC. I know that they will likely have the debates up, and you can rewatch them if you miss them. And if you're an international listener, I encourage you to go and take a listen and see what Canada is voting for. It's always interesting to see what other countries, their leaders look like and what they sound. So I encourage anybody to go take a listen and watch. And speaking of the Green Party, they were disinvited to the debates. I woke up this morning and read a tweet saying the Greens were disinvited, and I was like, what? And then I took a look, and yes, because they don't meet the criteria. And one of the criteria is poll numbers, as well as having the candidates in most of the ridings. I think you have to have candidates in 90% of the ridings, and they don't meet that threshold, so they've been disinvited, which is kind of wild to me, but that's a different story. So that's it for this episode of Follow the Lead podcast. Thanks for listening. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.